Welcome in, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Forge Sunday live show. Let me know in the chat why you chose the monster that you chose. Oh, look at that. All right. How is the volume? Seems like it's gonna be okay. Let me check on the phone though. Come on, phone. Happy Halloween, Anthony. Thanks for stopping in. Way to be here early. You the man. Alright. Why is it not, Okay. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Is it loud enough, Anthony? Should it be a little bit louder? Mr. Halverson? Let me know. How do you like the new camera angle? Okay. We are getting reports in. Curtis Samuel is active. Got that. So that shouldn't change anything. I have him in my rankings. Randall Cobb and Carl Jesus. Alright, Patriots inactives. Tyquan Thornton, Keyshawn Boutte, nothing there. Saints inactives. Kirkwood, Hurst, Jimmy Graham, Kyle Phillips. Mike Thomas is active. Alright. No Xavier Howard for Dolphins. All other questionable Dolphins will play, including... Okay, so that's good for like Kendrick Bourne. Tyron Smith is inactive. Deuce Vaughn inactive. Yeah. Eagles. Rashad Penny. Nothing there. Nothing there. Patriots. Yeah. Jordan Davis active. Oh, that's good. Jaguars. Zay Jones inactive. No surprises for the Jags. Vikings. No surprises. Well, they get Lewis Seen back. Dalton Reisner going to left guard. All right. Tony, are the Packers going to be able to beat Minnesota? What's up, Beast Mode? And Lance. Sorry, I didn't see you, Lance. Hi there. How you doing, Lance? Beast Mode 11 coming in with a hot question. Mostert or Puka at flex? Let me know full PPR, half PPR. I think in either case, though, I just go with Puka. I'm going to feel a little bit more comfortable with Puka. With the floor for Puka. Compared to Raheem Mostert, especially coming in a little bit banged up for Raheem Mostert. Wonder if maybe a little bit more work than normal doesn't go to the other running backs' ways this week. So I'm just double checking the matchup here for Miami. It's not like a super high upside touchdown matchup. No, New England. So yeah, I would go with Puka against the Cowboys. I like that floor a little bit more than Mostert's floor. Hope that works out for you, Beast Mode. Lance, hello again. Crazy. I'm starting Breece Hall and Jahmyr Gibbs over Tony Pollard. It does feel crazy, doesn't it? I think that's what you do, though. it's good to have that problem. You don't have a good flex spot for Bijan or Pollard. Do I have Pollard over Bijan? That feels weird. But it could be a good week for Pollard. I hope the Breece Hall one works out. I'm going out on a little bit of a limb, but I really expect him to be like, kind of like Tony Pollard, like back, you know. All right, Randall Cobb out, inactive. Izzy Abanikanda, no other. Jeez. Oh, Green Bay Packers, Luke Musgrave, Jair Alexander, Devondre Campbell, and Josh Myers, all questionable, are active. Luke Musgrave is active. Where do I have him in my rankings? Lance, I'm in a 4-man. Have Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown. It's a 4-man league? That's awesome. Okay, so that makes more sense than Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown, and Jamar Chase. Only one flex spot. Yeah, I definitely can't sit AJ Brown. Really can't sit Cooper Kupp. And probably the same thing could be said for Jamar Chase. So yeah, that makes sense. God, you gotta just get things wrong like every week in a 4-man league. You're so stacked that there's just no way you're getting everything right. Your bench is just going off on you. Alright, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it. Are you winning? You playing some League? By the way, that user tag name, that was hilarious this morning that you sent me. Probably mass sent it out, but still, that was hilarious. Aw, you're so sweet. Did you go to Julie's Cafe or what? Jeez, the notifications keep coming in. Brian Burns is indeed active? Active. Well, that's good for Panthers defense. Would have been feasting day for Houston if he was not playing. Okay, tight end. Forge ahead with Stefan Carpio. Welcome in, Stefan. Nice to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so I had Luke Musgrave just behind Gerald Everett. Okay, that makes sense. If Gerald Everett's even a go. So, other inactives. Zach Evans, inactive. What a great roster he was. Rob Havenstein, inactive. Jair Alexander is active. So that means I want to push back. Who? Minnesota. Do I want to push back? KJ? No. Do I want to push back? Where are you? Did I miss him? It would help if I could think of his name. Addison. Do I want to push Addison back at all? George? Hey guys, let me know what you think. Should I push Jordan Addison, since Jair Alexander will probably be facing him quite a bit today? Tough matchup behind like Garrett Wilson and or George Pickens. Let me know on that. No chance of Julie's Cafe, eh? Well, I don't know. I used to always go to Julie's Cafe. Stefan, Zach Evans inactive. So many. Yeah, that's what I was saying when I said. Sad day. Lately, I mean, if it'll be 3 weeks in a row where basically the top waiver wire option for a lot of people will have been kind of a dud. With Kareem Hunt this week, potentially they're going to be getting Jerome Ford back. That's a big hit. But that's why I told you to get him, 2 weeks ago at a cheaper price if people were spending up on him. All right. Eric Johnson, inactive. Zach Moss is active. That was expected, but that is official now. So I already changed my Zach Moss rankings a little bit. Just moved him back out of concern that maybe he gets used a little less. Didn't move Jonathan Taylor up because out of concern that maybe Zach Moss does his normal workload. And I already, he's at the tier back end of a lot of really good guys there. Anyways. Play Addison. Yeah, I know. No, but should I have Addison ranked ahead of Garrett Wilson, George Pickens? Addison, like I said, will be going up against Jair Alexander, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Does not usually shadow, though, unless he absolutely begs the team to shadow after they get whooped up by a guy the first time that they see him in a season. Otherwise than that, he does not shadow. So Jordan Addison should be able to get away from him some. Garrett Wilson going up against Jets, the Giants, so that's a nice, safe-ish matchup. They've been looking a little bit better on defense. And then Pittsburgh going up against the Jaguars, especially this week. Could be one of the more high-scoring games, ultimately. So, kind of like the upside there. Not that there isn't upside going against Green Bay. Okay, Zach Moss was active. Giants inactives. Deion Jackson, Daniel Jones. Their offensive line. Actually, the offensive line's getting a little bit healthier for Tyrod. Pickens, Addison, Wilson. Well, I can't do it like that. I can't do it like that. I just think that, I'd like to see it one more week from Addison. I understand putting Wilson back. I did just give a pretty good sell for Pickens. I'm going to go back. I changed it, and I don't remember exactly how much I changed it, but with the expectation that Jair would not be playing. Now, who do I need here? It concerns me enough. Patrick Mahomes has been battling the flu. Better today than yesterday. He'll play. Alright, so that's a nothing burger. Officially active Raheem Mostert, Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel, Zach Moss. Officially inactive Randall Cobb, Tyron Smith, Jimmy Graham. Yeah, so shouldn't be anything else in here worth note. Titans. Nothing. Cowboys losing. Can't keep that offensive line for the Cowboys healthy. Bijan or Walker? What's up? Monzi? Zone. Gonna go with Monzi. Let me know if I should pronounce that differently. Bijan or Walker, full PPR. I think I'm gonna go Bijan in full PPR there over Walker. Take that upside. Walker's probably going to be your floor no, that's right. He is playing against Cleveland. I would go Bijan Robinson in full PPR. My settings, my default here is half PPRs, so that is where that difference would flip for me. I'm really not concerned about last week, what happened with Bijan. If he gets headaches again, then I'll be concerned long-term career-wise if that happens the second week. That has happened with players in the past where they've just have an issue that sometimes they just miss weeks due to health issues. So hopefully that doesn't become a long-term issue, but for now, not concerned. Terrell, what's up, Terrell T? A or B? A, Terrell. B, Terrell. Madison, Javonte, or Foreman, standard league scoring. So we're looking for touchdown upside ultimately. How do I have them ranked? I know I'm going to have... So I'm worried... Terrell or Terrell or Terrell? Okay, so Terrell. Madison, I'm worried that Cam Akers might even overcome him as the lead back there. Javonte, a lot of people are excited about this week, but I mean, as Kansas City didn't do very well against them just 2 weeks ago. Not too optimistic that things have changed a whole lot. He looks a little bit better. Maybe 7 or 8 points kind of seems like his baseline. Foreman, I got right on the edge there going up against LA. Really good matchup. We expect Bagent should be able to hold down the fort just in terms of kind of managing the game. And Foreman having a good game would go a long ways to help that. So standard league scoring, I like the touchdown odds of Foreman as much as anybody there. Madison against Green Bay probably have the second best touchdown odds. Javonte would be the last. So I'd go Foreman, Madison, Javonte. Personally, just hunting for the touchdown with Madison there. Green Bay Packers suck against the run. They're not as bad as LA is. So Foreman's my guy there. There's a little bit of risk with all of them except for Javonte as far as known usage. You asked me if the Packers had a chance today. I said no chance. Seems your chat is way behind. Yeah, I mean, it took forever for me to get sound as good from you. Check. Tony, check if you're watching live. I have 0 latency, so there shouldn't be any kind of lag issues. And Terrell T answered quite quickly. You can just press on the little live button, and that'll get you back to live if you are behind. Stefan, need 2 wide receivers, full PPR from Watson, Kupp, Sutton, Bourne, and Dotson. And also, I mean, I was listening to it here. There's a slight delay, but it wasn't bad. Unless, of course, you're right and the delay's in the chat. So Stefan Carpio. 2 wide receivers, full PPR. Thank you for all the details there. Is that Christian Watson? Or it's not going to be Deshaun Watson. So assume that's Christian Watson. You're going to see I have him quite low in my rankings. I don't think impact. There is a slight chance of rain amongst all non-dome games that aren't Kansas City and Denver or Minnesota and Green Bay, because those games are going to be very cold. So if there is precipitation, it would be snow, but I don't think that there's snow projected for either of those. I believe pretty much every game that is not in a dome, which I can figure that out for you. Let me get back to the weather impact. The short answer is no, I'm not concerned about any of the slight chances of rain. So Christian Watson, I am assuming Amari Cooper. I'm making some assumptions here, Stefan. Maybe clarify, Stefan, with that question again. Let me know. Christian Watson, Amari Cooper, is that correct? Sutton, Bourne, and Dotson. I know the other 3 right off the bat. NFLweather.com. So the non-dome games, I guess there might be some snow for Vikings, Green Bay. It's not supposed to be anything significant. Let's see, we got a dome for Cowboys, Falcons, Titans, slight chance of rain there. Shouldn't be enough to impact it. Patriots, Dolphins, I think there's a slight chance of rain there, but whatever the case, the weather's fine there, a little bit windy, nothing bad. Jets, Giants, there is a slight chance of, or definite rain showers apparently. I heard that's supposed to clear up prior to game, but whatever. It's supposed to be some rain it's probably the most likely game, or the heaviest rains are expected for the Jets, Giants. Once again, not enough that it should really impact anything. Same with Jags, Steelers, slight chance. Eagles, Washington, slight chance. Nothing that I'm changing rankings on, scaring me away from starting players, anything like that. All right, so Christian Watson, Amari Cooper, Courtland Sutton, Bourne, and Dotson need 2 of them. Full PPR. Stefan, sorry, going to make you wait a second. It's Curry. Who should I start? Austin Eckler or Jonathan Taylor, and 4 wide receivers, Cooper Kupp or A.J. Brown. I would go Austin Eckler over Jonathan Taylor by a little bit, and especially if you're in full PPR, anything like that. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp or A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown's going to be your safer bet there. Just based on how he's played and based on a high upside matchup against Washington, I go A.J. Brown. A good problem to have, but Cooper Kupp could have a huge day too. AJ Brown's going to be my choice. Nick Jackson, Chris Olave, or Drake London this week. I am going to go Chris Olave. I don't love it, but still Drake London's, so boom or bust. Chris Olave has a really high floor. It's big enough of a difference that I would trust Chris Olave over Drake London. It's close, though, this week. If you look at my rankings, it's pretty close for me. A lot of people don't have Chris Olave that low. It's Curry. Also have Breece Hall. Well, I like Breece Hall quite a bit. I don't have him. Do I? I do have him over Eckler. Going straight from my rankings, I'm going to go Breece Hall over Eckler. All right, so Christian Watson, Amari Cooper for Stephon Carpio. Don't want to go Sutton. Don't want to go Jahan Dotson. No chance there. Oh, God. How do I have him ranked? I know. So Christian Watson's going to be all the way down here. I think we're going to go Amari Cooper. And Sutton? I just moved Kendrick Bourne. I had Kendrick Bourne ahead of Amari Cooper. But getting... What's his face back on their defense? It scares me a little bit there, Stephon. So I would go Amari Cooper, Courtland Sutton. And if you wanted maybe a little bit of a safer floor, Bourne over Cooper? Stephon, if you don't like Cooper Sutton, let me know. I can look into Bourne a little bit more for you. It's Curry. Who should I start? I've got you. It's Curry on that one. And you let me know about Breece Hall. So I would start Breece Hall over those two. You have a little bit of faith in that one. If you don't want to have the faith, nothing wrong with Austin Eckler. Nothing wrong with Jonathan Taylor either. Stephon. I'm Wendigoat. Do I trade Pollard and B-Rob for ETN? I don't think so. It's basically, do I trade Pollard for ETN? It feels like a sideways move regardless, but I do know I understand why you would need to get B-Rob based on production so far this season, give him and B-Rob up for ETN. I would rather keep the running back depth with Brian Robinson there. Like I said, it is a bit of a sideways move regardless for rest of season. ETN has had the touchdowns. That has helped him a lot. Tony Pollard would be the better option in general for PPR between the two. Should be, I should say. And I think he'll have a better second half to the season. So I wouldn't do it. I'd rather hold on to the depth. It depends a little bit how your roster looks and everything. It's not a terrible trade if you wanted to do it. I just personally wouldn't do it. I expect it to be too close rest of season for that one to go. Cooper, Bourne, Sutton. All right, I'm going to look at my projections on those guys a little bit closer to really give you a better, maybe weighing some of that. So we got Amari Cooper going up against Seattle, which is nice, but you got PJ Walker as his quarterback, which he's somehow been okay for 2 weeks with PJ Walker. And you've got Christian Watson going up against the Vikings, which is a good matchup, but hasn't done anything. Jordan Love, very inaccurate. Boom or bust option with Christian Watson. So, I'm thinking out of the box here for a little bit. Where the heck are you, Broncos? Broncos KC. Don't like it a whole lot. Don't like it. But Courtland Sutton's produced. New England Dolphins. Ugh, I'm going back. I can't keep Amari Cooper there. Still have a little bit more hope for Kendrick Bourne over Cooper. No. Courtland Sutton. Oh, why won't you? I can't. I can't handle this. Going back. Gosh, I hate where I have Courtland Sutton ranked. That's just how he's done this so well this year. My running back depth is Bijan, Pollard, Hunt, and B-Rob. Is there any way I could ship off one of these for Amon-Ra? Tariq, DJ, Chris Watson, Drake London. I mean, you could probably get rid of London. If you could get it done before the game, like London and Hunt. Hunt might give you... I mean, leaves you with 3 running backs, but, you know, I mean, running backs go down, running backs appear. That's why there's always running backs on the waiver, or new running back options on the waiver wire, like at least once every other week. So there is that. Yeah, if you wanted to, like, I see where you want to get an upgrade on your running back and wide receiver depth there. To just improve your third spot at one or the other position. So if you could do London Hunt for Amon-Ra, I don't think you could do that, though. I don't see why that would get accepted. Chris Watson's not going to get accepted. I don't know that I want to get rid of DJ Moore for Amon-Ra, necessarily. He should be good down the stretch for you. Are you in a good spot? Record-wise right now, Wendigoat, or are you trying to win games yesterday? Trying to win games yesterday, I guess you could get rid of DJ Moore. Probably, once again, Kareem Hunt, I think, over B-Rob. For Amon-Ra. If your record's fine, I would just hold on to DJ Moore. And, you know, they'll be back to whole sooner than later. And he was a stud for the most part. His upside is huge. Amari Cooper for Seattle. Still thinking about that, Stephon. I feel like you could go... I wanted to go broke. Courtland Sutton and Christian Watson. You get your highest ceiling with Christian Watson. You get the best player ranked there, Courtland Sutton. Otherwise, Amari Cooper. Man, that'd be cool going with Amari Cooper and Kendrick Bourne there. That might be what I would do if it was my lineup, Stephon. And Sutton, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't really like where I have him ranked right now, looking at that, but I don't know how to push him down too much more. All right, Wendigo, I'll get right back to you. Impossible, right? Have PPR flex. Higgins, Henderson, Bijan. How many am I choosing here? Tank Dell, Romeo Dobbs, Lockett. Okay, so we can say no to Dobbs, no to Lockett. Probably gonna go Higgins over Tank. How do I have them ranked? I do have Higgins right over Tank Dell. So out of those wide receivers, get that narrowed down to Higgins. My rankings are in half PPR. So then it's between Henderson, B-Rob. I would go Henderson over B-Rob. I really don't feel I would go with Higgins out of the bunch there, starting Nico Aranra, Pacheco, Bijan. Not going to change anything. Yeah, I would go with Higgins and hope for him to turn a corner this week. Very good chance. Very good opportunity for him to. Very good chance he will. There's been some good news coming out of camp and everything this week. Just in general, talking about him returning back to normal and stuff. So, I think with that bunch, I would just go for Higgins there. If you really don't feel comfortable with Higgins, I have Tank Dell one spot right behind him in the rankings. I do believe I'm higher on Tank Dell than a lot of rankers, but I feel pretty good about that. Real quick, monster update. I knew nobody would pick which. I should have chose a different monster. We got 1/3 of people saying that ghosts are the most scary. We've got almost half the people saying vampires are. And only 22% going with zombie. A little surprised. Everybody's always afraid of a zombie apocalypse. I feel like ghosts are up there because people think that ghosts have the highest chance of being real out of this bunch. Well, let's face it. Obviously, zombies and vampires are not real. And, I thought maybe Witch wouldn't be because in media, witches, now it's 40-40 their ghost for vampire. In media, witches, I think, are often not portrayed to be very scary. But, with the popularity of the FX hit show, the vampire one, I can't think of his name right now. Into the Shadows? I think that makes vampires a lot less scary. I thought maybe that would knock them down a little bit. But people are still afraid of those vampires. I just started the league this week. It's a pirate league where you take some... Oh, cool. That's fun. And I'm projected to win this week by over 20 points. I figured I might as well get an upgrade. Okay, yeah. I just don't know where... You don't want to get rid of Bijan or Pollard. If you could get Monra for Hunt and Christian Watson, Drake London, I mean, that would be the move. But I just don't think I would want to trade... If you wanted to trade DJ Moore straight up for Monra St. Brown, it's an upgrade for the short term. I don't know about the long term. You're projected to win this week, so you're going to be cannibalizing somebody off of a team again. Maybe then you'll have one more tool to work with to work out a trade. Yeah, I'm not opposed to trying to figure out a trade when to go. I don't know exactly where to figure out the best trade is to make a significant upgrade with, but it would be London, Hunt would be, I think, the two that I think you could get the most for. Maybe London, B-Rob, I would be okay with that. I would rather get rid of Hunt, personally. I just don't know how much of an upgrade you can get there. Impossible. I already answered your question. Wendigo read that just a moment ago. Edward, what's up, Edward? Thank you for coming on in again. Let's see. Yo, Mr. Forge himself. I'm back with my same question. Okay. Every week. DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, Jacoby Myers, Olave. Yeah, and I hate your question every week. And I feel like I probably have never gotten this correct. Choose one. Cool. Can't even choose two. I think I'm going to have Christian Kirk ahead of this whole group. Full PPR is not going to make me move DJ Moore ahead of Christian Kirk, that's for sure. Jacoby Myers, it could. We got the back issue there. Love Jacoby Myers, been great. Let's be happy that we have him to start in future weeks. Let's let that back issue fix itself. Chris Olave, you like the floor there. If Michael Thomas had gone out, that would be more of an argument there. It probably would have him just ahead of Christian Kirk if Mike Thomas was out, just for the insane floor that he would have. But I still like the upside of Christian Kirk this week, or Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson quite a bit this week. Do have him over Chris Olave in the rankings, but I would go with Christian Kirk. Really, really good matchup. And, he's been the stud. There's a slight fear in the back of my mind that it's going to be the Calvin Ridley week and not him. But there's room for both of them to have good weeks anyways. And the last time that they played a really good man team, which is where Calvin, I almost called him Johnson, Calvin Ridley, is supposed to be at his best. It was Christian Kirk that week, like 3 weeks ago, I think it was. I can't remember the opponent. So I go with Christian Kirk, man. And I hope it works out, Edward. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know who are you thinking, Ed, out of that bunch. What if I do Bijan and Watson for Amon-Ra? You're getting rid of Watson at least, but that leaves you. Like, I just feel like that leaves you at such a significant. Are you starting? You 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Is that your league format there, Wendigoat? Bijan and Watson. So that leaves you with Pollard, Hunt, B-Rob. And I think you're giving up your, like, you might lose this week then. Like, you really, Hunt might be the backup running back. B-Rob, really don't think it's a good week for him. So I think if you do that before the week starts here, you might lose the week. It's like more likely that you would lose it. 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 5 flex. Wow. So it's kind of deep. Interesting. I don't necessarily love it, Wendigo. Once again, if you think it works out for your league, Amon-Ra over Bijan is a slight upgrade. Straight up. Taking out the importance of having that running back spot, you do have all those flex spots to fill, so you really only need to get 2 running backs in there. You can probably figure that out. And maybe if you win this week, you can take one from your opponent. I do think you're risking, you make your team worse this week by a little bit, probably there, but that format's a little different. So, yeah, Wendigo, I don't hate it. I will say Watson is dispensable. Amon-Ra over Bijan, I would say, yeah, I think Amon-Ra, I would expect him on a weekly basis to have score more points than Bijan. So I do not oppose that trade, Wendigo, if you wanted to go that route. CC, it's okay. You can always be late. What's up, CC? Ritter or Minshew? Well, that sucks. I'm going to go with Ritter for you. I'll be riding in the same boat. I don't have a lot of faith in Minshew this week. New Orleans not been a fun defense, and I think last week was such a fluky week. But, Minshew Mania, he does weird things. Not like I have high hopes for Ritter either. Minshew ceiling, Ritter floor. Ritter, I think, slightly safer play overall compared to what Minshew's floor is and likelihood of where they'll score. I like Ritter by a little ways. There's CC. It's close. If you have a preference, just go with it. If you have a gut feeling, just go with it between the two of them. It's whatever. NMB, start 2 for running backs. Foreman, Roach. Jay? Roschon Johnson? This is why I asked for real names. Okay, so Foreman, Roschon Johnson. We're going to go Foreman there. Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Johnson or Tank Dell in my flex. I would go Tank Dell over Deontay Johnson. Probably regardless if that's full PPR or not. And Foreman Roschon Johnson combination for the floor. Foreman Chuba Hubbard for a slight ceiling. I would recommend, based on my rankings, Foreman Hubbard. But if you are in a matchup where you think if you have the edge, whether you want to go by the projections or just your personal feelings on that, I don't hate going Foreman, Roschon Johnson, and just calling that a nice high floor play, and you'll get the production of the running backs, which should be pretty good this week from Chicago against the Los Angeles Chargers. Don't hate that one bit. And then Tank Dell over Deontay for me by a little ways. Wendigo, there's only 4. Okay. Christian Rodriguez, I believe I've seen you before. Thank you for stopping back on in. We're down bad at running back. We got Sanders. I know who you mean, right? This is obvious, right? Miles, yeah. Miles Sanders, Amari DeMarcado, or Jaylen Warren? I think I have Miles Sanders the highest out of that bunch. Yeah, so, Browns or Falcons, D? Let me answer that quick, and then I'm going to do just a little bit more. So Browns or Falcons, I feel a little bit safer with the Falcons. Gino, the Seahawks, they've been good at not turning it over. We're at about 50 minutes prior to kickoff, everybody. Once again, these rankings are half PPR rankings up on the board. So please give me all full names for any questions that you have as preferred over nicknames like Roach J. So KNMB, I forgive you. And format helps too. Full PPR, half PPR, whatever. So Miles Sanders, DeMarcado, Warren. I think what you're going to do there, let me just get my expected ranges up. So I got Miles Sanders, but Miles Sanders has a pretty decent floor. Amari DeMarcado, I think, will give you maybe a little better of a ceiling. So, and Jaylen Warren's probably somewhere in the middle there. Yeah, he doesn't really give you the best floor or the best ceiling. He's just, he's Jaylen Warren. He's an okay play. And a decent matchup there against the Jaguars for some upside. But I would go Sanders for the safer floor, DeMarcado if you want to shoot for the ceiling. I'd take Sanders there, Christian Rodriguez, and I would go Falcons D over the Browns this week. Edward Zhang, man, I always can't choose between Kirk, DJ Moore, and Jacoby, right? It's a headache. He asks me every week. But you look at the rankings, dude, I'm pretty high up on Christian Kirk this week. I just think that this could be one of those, 26-point type weeks is in the realm this week for him. Snyder, I tried Gus Edwards for Aaron Jones. I didn't get fleeced, right? I traded Gus Edwards. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I like it, Snyder. I think you got the better running back. Not necessarily on the better offense or anything, but I think you got the better player. If you were in standard scoring format, would be the only format where I might think twice about that. But then again, once they get near the goal line, there's always a chance that it's Lamar Jackson that takes it in anyways over Gus Edwards. So, nope, not fleeced at all. Should have gotten the better rest of season guy there. Might not look like that this week, Snyder, but that's better. You're fine. Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence back-to-back. Off the top of my head, let me just say, I'm not looking at my rankings yet. But just without looking at how I ended up having them ranked, I would want, I believe, we're going to go with Jacksonville on that. Where are you, Jacksonville? I believe I would go Jacksonville. How do I have them ranked? Have Kirk Cousins over Trevor Lawrence. What do the projections look like? Unless you think you should bench Bijan for one of them. Did I think that? I might have thought that, Edward. Let me get back to that. Every week. Wait. Should you bench Bijan for... No, I don't think so. Not quite. Not quite. I still have concerns about DJ Moore. I know people are like kind of ignoring the fact that Bagent had a... Like, there's good reasons to ignore the fact that Bagent threw the ball and averaged 2 yards deep last week. For DJ Moore. He's taken bad quarterbacks throughout the entirety of his career and made them look better, or been able to have good fantasy outputs with pretty bad quarterbacks. I'm not 100% sure about it, but it is a good matchup this week, which helps. I go with Bijan. That's just the safer, better play there, I think. And that's kind of how I feel about Christian Kirk, too. Safer, better play. So, nah, Edward, I wouldn't sit any of them for Bijan there. All right, go on Christian Kirk. Unless you think you should bench one Bijan for one of them. Okay, just double reading that, making sure I read it correctly. Nope, think you're good. Colts or Saints defense? I want to say I'm going to go Saints on that. They're playing each other, huh? Ugh. Yeah, Saints. Gardner Minshew likes to throw picks and whatnot, and, you know, not a very good read. I go Saints all over the place there. Thank you for the question, Greens Gatlin, very much for stopping on in. Hope that works out for you. Quick update. We are back to a tie between Ghost and Vampire. However, Zombie has pulled up a little ways since last time, a quarter of the vote going towards Zombie, and Witch is still lagging behind for the scariest classic monster because, let's face it, witches should be the most scary, y'all. They've got magic. They can do shit. They can curse you. They can make potions and have you drink it. Like, the witch has the scariest powers. Ghosts, they can knock stuff over? Oh, cool. Maybe they can push you over? Maybe, but that probably zaps like all of their energy, and then they're out for a week. Vampire, okay, pretty. They would be frightening. Zombie, not so frightening. I can handle a zombie, okay? Witch, no chance I can handle a witch. She would F my S up. Fuck my... Oh, shoot. I meant to censor that. She would frick my crap up. Start 2 full PPR. Full PPR. Addison, DJ Moore, or Dell from Snyder here. Okay, full PPR is going to matter here, I believe. Going DJ Moore for the upside. I have Tank Dell over Addison? Question mark? No, Addison. Yeah, stick with how I have them for my half PPR rankings there. Like, Tank Dell is not going to move ahead of them because of full PPR. I don't think. He gets a little bit closer, maybe, to DJ Moore, but I'll still take that upside. Full PPR for Dell. One moment. Let me double check on 2 things. I'm going to look at how many targets DJ Moore had last week and Tank Dell's season-long average. Since you're even asking this means you have somewhat of a similar opinion probably about DJ Moore and you're concerned about him. Alright. Schedule. DJ Moore last versus the Raiders. So it's a similarly good matchup, probably even a better matchup against the Chargers this week. Had 9 targets. Very good, very good. Caught 8 of them as well. So that's good for PP. I don't see Tank Dell having enough. Okay. Player profile, why do you have his real name in here? Nathaniel Dell. What? You don't have... What? Dell. You do have his... I must have misspelt it. Tank Dell, on average, 5.6 targets, but that's probably a little misleading. On average, 10 and 7 targets were his 2 big games. Yeah, no. You're going to go with DJ Moore there. And Jordan Addison would be my choice, Snyder. Hope that works out for you. And I said DJ Moore and Addison, right? I did not say Dell. Yeah. I said that correctly. No, I have Tank Dell fairly highly ranked, and honestly, after looking at his game-by-game production, I'm a little bit more worried about that, but then again, like, maybe I should move Calvin Ridley ahead of both of them. Let's do that quick. Just on the off chance that Calvin actually has a good week. Josh Palmer, you really can't start this week. Rashee Rice, feel really optimistic about him. Yeah, no, we'll stay with that. Once you get to, like, once you get to Drake London, I feel there's a significant drop off in the wide receivers and how confident you can be in playing them. Even Drake London, obviously, there's concerns about, and same with DK right ahead of him. Maybe it's Terry McLaurin's the last, like, you're starting him and feeling good about it. And even then, it's Terry. And DJ Moore right ahead of that, which, you got Badgett. And then you got Chris Olave, who hasn't been great. And you got Michael Pittman, who's scary. It just never ends. This is a weird week for wide receivers. All right, did I wrap up? If I have any questions that you don't feel I've wrapped up for you guys as far as answers, Wendigoat, I think I've summarized that up with I would feel comfortable with that trade if you wanted to do it. So I think that would have wrapped everything up. If I missed any questions, if I didn't wrap one up, let me know, and I'll finish that off for you. Let's look real quickly for any news updates, any big bits of information that might lead us to think differently on someone. We know Robert Woods is out. Patrick Mahomes, illness, no game, status designation. We know this. Raheem Mostert, we know he's playing. We're not going to know about Josh Palmer in time. Jerome Ford, we're probably not going to know about in time either. Tyler Lockett, we're not going to know that? No, Tyler Lockett was declared as being likely, but we're not going to know for sure. Jalen Ramsey, that's the defender I was trying to think of earlier. Darren Waller, I didn't think that there was no question about Darren Waller. He's playing all along. Out. Nothing crazy. Okay, so updates. Glazer, at least one of Commander's defensive linemen will get traded this week. All right. Rodgers is apparently throwing balls along the sideline again. Doesn't look like anything on that subreddit forum. Last big thing would have been the flu for Patrick Mahomes. Commander's quarterback coach will miss today's game, but it's the quarterback's coach. That shouldn't really alter too much. Just, maybe a little bit of communication difference today. That'd be about it. Doesn't look like I missed any news so far for today. I should have asked best Halloween candy instead of best monster. Y'all hand out candies to the little trick-or-treaters or not? It sucks it's on a Tuesday, which is like such a busy day for fantasy football, preparing stuff, recording videos and whatnot, but I really like handing candy out and seeing all the costumes, so probably gonna have to bust my butt Tuesday morning and whatnot, and then Tuesday after trick-or-treating's done. It's a new neighborhood, so I have no clue what to expect here. It's like a closed community, so won't be too many people. But I don't have a good way to keep working while it'd be too much of a headache. So I'm just gonna have to sit outside. Do you think I should stash Jameson Williams? This is from Snyder again. or Jeff Wilson Jr. I could pick up someone like Brandon Cooks or Cam Akers. Well, I really like... I'm not too... I mean, it kind of depends. You got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I guess what's more important? I would probably rather stash Brandon Cooks over Jameis Williams. And I think... I don't think Cam Akers is going to get the starting job, but neither do I for Jeff Wilson without injury. I think Cam Akers is going to be a really solid back-end RB2/flex option going forward, and I think he might even take away the 1A to the 1B kind of role going forward from Madison. So I think Cam Akers would be my stash out of the group. If you wanted to look really short term, like Raheem Mostert gets injured, then you get a week or 2 with Jeff Wilson probably being at least getting 50% of the work, and the touchdown stuff, which would be huge in that backfield. But you're thinking a little bit long term, somebody who might be able to contribute in case of injuries and through some of the last of the bye weeks and whatnot. It would be Cam Akers to me. And I would prefer to stash a running back over stashing a wide receiver. Wide receivers, for the most part, you'll always be able to find somebody on the waiver wire. Running backs, it can get pretty dirty pretty quickly as to really just taking a shot and a prayer on someone in an emergency situation. Whereas, once again, there's plenty of options for wide receivers where you have a decent idea of what you're going to get, and maybe you get more than that. Running backs, it can be a crapshoot. Greens, Gatlin. Sounds like you are going to go with the Saints defense, and or you're agreeing with me about trick-or-treating and liking to hand out candy or something. I don't even know if I had a question there for that one. My cat hates this new layout because, so I used to have the camera off that way a little ways, and so I had a lot more of my gear than off my desk over here, more that way. And there was a wide open spot just off right of camera to my left-hand side here that my cat could hang out on. She could also then jump over to a table and onto an area that she likes to sleep on. She liked all 3 of those spots were her hangout spots. She no longer has the connection. It's a much bigger jump for her, or higher jump for her now to get onto the 2 other items she liked over that back that way. I brought her a little cat stand over here. She doesn't seem to like it a whole lot. Put down a towel down here. She just doesn't have access to love me when she wants something. Because that's the only time that cats love you. As easily as she did before this new setup. And we're a day in, so she's just not happy with me. I'm the GOAT! Darn right I am, Christian. Thank you very much. Kirk over Burrow. So, I feel like I got this already. No? Did I? I did not. Yes. You're going to have to pass a lot. Kirk's been really good. Burrow, although the news is really, really good going forward, it's close. It's close. If you have a gut feeling about Burrow, I wouldn't argue about you starting him over Kirk Cousins, but I would go. Speaking of kitty cat, I would go with Kirk Cousins over Joe Burrow for probably one more week. I got a feeling next week going to be ranking him differently. Maybe depending on the matchup a little bit there. But, yeah. Let me look at, just straight up, how do they each do fantasy points allowed? I want to look at San Francisco versus Green Bay defense points allowed to quarterbacks. Because I know to wide receivers... Green Bay is really good against quarterbacks. I think San Francisco is decent against quarterbacks. I know San Francisco is probably worse against wide receivers than Green Bay. It's funny, some of the teams that are really good against like a position. Oh, what the heck? It's weird how sometimes the team can be really good against the quarterback for fantasy, but then the receivers are okay plays. Uh, they're average against them, or even like slightly poor. Come on, FTN, work, 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 work. Are your servers just overloaded? What's going on? It would put a lot of eggs in the basket, but like, it's not the worst week. It's putting your eggs in a lot of baskets. Like, there is a chance. Steelers pass rush gets to the Jags, frustrates them. So you had somebody else. You had like Kirk or something, right? So yeah, no problem avoiding that triple stack, I would say. I feel like Pittsburgh's one of those teams where they're better against the quarterback than they are the what I was just talking about, essentially. All right, so San Fran versus Green Bay against the quarterback. Yeah, San Fran's better against the quarterback, even though Green Bay is pretty solid against the quarterback. So yeah, I lean Kirk, like I have ranked Christian Gonzalez, but Rodriguez. So sorry. I just went for generic last name. My bad, dude. Super my bad. Kirk over Burrow is what I would do. Correct, Christian. I feel so bad right now for just throwing a random last name there on you. My bad, dude. I don't. Edward, who was your other quarterback? Yeah, it was Kirk Cousins. Yep. Yep. No problem going Kirk there. You'd be fine. It's a divisional game. You know, I don't think it's going to get to the point where Minnesota is just running the clock for like a quarter and a half or anything like that. I don't think the score is going to get that out of hand. Might not be pretty at the end of the day, but I think that Christian Kirk Cousins will have to throw throughout the game. Falcons have offered a third-round pick for Montez Sweat. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna be seeing some players move over this next week. That's gonna be fun. And maybe not. NFL trade deadlines are not like other sports. All right, we're less than a half hour away from kickoff, y'all. Snyder, I got a rough week 13. Yo, you gotta hear my week 10. It's like my whole roster. So Lamar, Moore, Addison, Hawkinson, and Roshan. Actually, let me just hold up. thought there's like a bye week thing on here. Oh well. Alright, so Raheem Mostert, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Rashee Rice, my Philly DST. Yeah, so all my 3 starting wide receivers, my backup wide receiver that I chose as a stash in part for that like week 10, and then I was like, oh crap, he's a week 10 bye as well. So that'll leave me with Ayuk and Lockett. And then running back, I'll have one of my running backs at least in Ramondre, but then I'm going to be down to like Roshan, Algier, Tyler Spears, Zach Charbonnet. Gets a little ugly there. And I swear, who is my quarterback? Oh, Justin Fields. Yeah, he's not. He's fine there. Rafael Castro, what's up, homie? Edward, man, 11 got 15 targets last game as well. Still leaning Kirk, but it's hard with these options. Yeah, I mean, Le'Veon's been getting a lot of targets. That's why I say he's got a really good floor. But it just really hasn't produced into big fantasy point games. It's been a lot of, you kind of know what you're getting with him. He's going to have a big week sooner than later. It's going to happen. So you're fine to go against my rankings, Edward. I won't be offended. Rafael Castro, who do I go with? Miles Sanders, Jaylen Warren, or Kareem Hunt at running back? Yeah, so I think you have to play it like, I'm assuming Miles Sanders, Jaylen Warren, they're both going to be, yeah, Jaylen Warren, Miles Sanders, both going to be noon games or whatever time zone you're in, early set of games. Carolina, there you are. So I think you have to keep in mind that essentially then Kareem Hunt, I think I gave him I think I have where I would rank him in my projections online. Let me see. In the event that Jerome Ford returns, I would put Kareem Hunt way back, 42nd. Don't like him a whole lot. So, I think you have to play it like Kareem Hunt, like Jerome Ford is going to be starting unless we happen to get big news right beforehand. Otherwise, Kareem Hunt would probably be the choice there. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So I think I have Miles Sanders ranked higher than Jaylen Warren. And I don't think format's going to matter a whole lot. You have full PPR. Maybe that would push Warren up ahead of Sanders. Maybe. By a little bit. Raphael, I would go with Sanders there. In a vacuum, and as of who I would have in my lineup right now, if I had those 3. And hope for the best. It's a really, really good matchup, right? Yeah. Houston, solid matchup. Yeah, Snyder, I'm not looking forward to week 10. And I'm pretty much just planning on tanking it. I really hope I get another win. I only have 1 loss so far. So if I can get another win this week, even at least one of the next 2 games, if I don't lose these next 2 weeks, just going to kind of 8, 9, 10, yeah. Just kind of let that, let's see what happens and let myself lose if that is the case. Should I trade DJ Moore and maybe Jacoby for T. Higgins and Waddle? Interesting. It feels a little bit sideways to me of a move, but it's a risk that you could take. I don't know that he's a more surefire wide receiver one rest of the season, but he's probably like one spot ahead of T. Higgins rest of season rankings, just because it doesn't have Jamar Chase on the other side. So although you might not feel more comfortable, like I would think there's a good shot that DJ Moore will score more fantasy points rest of season than T. Higgins, and so they're very close. But then I think like Waddle over Jacoby, it's very sideways, Edward. I don't know that I would necessarily want to mess with it. I feel like you have the more, you have the guys who have performed better so far this season out of the bunch. So you're just trading, expecting those other two to perform much better rest of the season, which could be the case. But I don't think I would make the trade myself. Frosty, good morning, Frosty. Thanks for showing up yet again. Always nice to see you. I have no idea who to start between Ramondre, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Marquise Brown, or Tank Dell. I need to start 3, 2 running back, 1 flex, full PPR. Snyder, I don't know about fleeced, but I probably wouldn't have made that trade this week. Maybe at the beginning of when Jefferson went down, then it might have made, like, I don't know that the trade would have made more sense then, but from the Jefferson side, trading him away would have made more sense. I don't know that he got fleeced. Depends the roster maybe a little bit there. Let me get to Frosty here. Full PPR, so that's going to only help Ramondre over Derrick Henry, but I do have Derrick Henry ranked higher than Ramondre, but that really brings them much closer. I'm optimistic about Aaron Jones. I have them right in between. That helps Aaron Jones. I go Aaron Jones over Derrick Henry. Bite my lips on that one. We need to start 3 here, though. So Aaron Jones for sure, because we need 2 running backs. Okay. Marquise Brown or Tank Dell in at flex. Full PPR, I think I would go Marquise Brown in full PPR. I'm optimistic about Tank Dell, but I think that full PPR. Gosh. I think in full PPR I have to lean, or I mean you could play all 3 running backs, huh? But that would put Derrick Henry. I mean you could just play all 3 running backs. I think that's what I would do. Frosty, I think I would just go all 3 running backs, and I think you get the best floor that way. Tank Dell, it's gonna go like I feel like it's gonna go one way or the other. It's gonna be a really good game or a really bad game, because it all depends on if their rushing attack can get going. Because most teams kill Carolina in the rushing game. They are the worst team against the run. As far as consistently, they're the worst team against the run. So it just comes down to that. If they can get the rushing game going, it's going to be a limited amount of targets in the passing game for Tank Dell. Marquise Brown, the Ravens are really pretty good against the pass. So I do think that they're going to be passing all game, and that's where I like maybe his floor. But I go with the 3 running backs, man. I think they're going to give you the best floor there. And hopefully none of them bust. Everybody there has bust potential. I mean, technically every week everybody has bust potential, but that's what I would do. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I'd stick with the 3 running backs. They're going to get carries. That's huge. Let's get it, Kirko Brands. Stop, Christian. Did my friend get fleeced? Snyder, I answered that. I don't know about fleeced, but I don't think I would have made the trade. Frosty, it worked. All right, I love it when the advice works. I don't remember what I gave you last week, but I'm happy when it works. Because in my head, what really sticks out, what I end up remembering tends to be, and sometimes I'm wrong. Like I look back and it's like, oh, no, I did have that right. But what I get wrong, or what I think I got wrong, is like all that sticks out to me. I always think I did worse than I did, but I obviously do get things wrong. Like that's gonna happen. I believe predicting fantasy football is a worse profession as far as accuracy goes than predicting the weather. So I'm gonna get crap wrong. But always good to hear, or when I do remember the good things, always makes me happy when things work out well. And part of how I play is like, it's not to lose. You know, I know the goal is to win the championship at the end, but on a week-to-week basis, the goal is to just not lose. I don't care if I'm the number one scoring team. So part of how I play is just, it's a little bit of a safe brand of fantasy football. I like consistency. And it's worked for me really well as far as making it into playoffs in a league where there's only 4 teams that make the playoffs out of 12. I made it the last 3 years in a row. And this year I'm on a pace to make them again. Yes. All right. You're welcome. Yeah, I think I was pretty strongly opinionated on that one too. And I can be wishy-washy on something sometimes, but I do recall that. So sweet. Good to know. All right, zombies are slowly moving in here. We got 35% ghosts, 35% vampires, 29% zombies with 17 votes in 13 minutes until kickoff, y'all. And enjoy football this week. We got another full week of football randomly here. It makes no sense, but not all the bye weeks. It's going to be a loaded 1 p.m., noon, whatever, early slate here. And then I think we're just down to 4 at 4 o'clock. You know, you think you could have gotten like 5 games for the 4 o'clock there. Whatever. Yeah, we got 9 games for the one. Like, couldn't we have gone 5 and 8 instead of 9 and 4? Feels like it'd be a little better ratio there. Yeah, there is something going on odd with the chat timing here, huh? But when it's immediate on my end. So I think this chat is just delayed. Let me see. Oh, that I always like that. Like more so from the perspective if I'm playing against that team when they have all their players playing at the 1 o'clock slot, then you know exactly what's going to happen. I've been in a situation this week where I haven't been able to make any roster moves because my league does allow you to have an illegal roster with somebody in your IR spot. You obviously can't make. Although I saw teams that I swear have illegal rosters made some waiver wire moves, but I didn't even want to test it because I want everybody on my team, so I didn't want to drop anybody. So I have 1 extra player illegally, and I wasn't able to make any roster changes this week because of that. There were a few guys that I was kind of interested in for waiver wire or doing this or that, but I have a second DST right now that I'm holding on to. I love my running back depth. Need that. I need my wide receiver depth in 2 weeks, so I didn't want to get rid of anybody there. And yeah, that just left Roshan in my IR spot. Didn't need him, so left it that way. Bryce Ridley, what's up, Bryce? Thanks for stopping on in. Pick 3, all wide receivers. Full PPR, half PPR. Let me know just in case that matters here. It might not. Devontae Adams, Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Adam Thielen. Wow. Bryce, I've got these guys stacked, loaded up high. So, okay, full PPR. So Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, and I have Adam Thielen right behind. So the question is would Christian Kirk go over Ayuk due to full PPR? Because Thielen's the reason he's so high up is because of his receptions. Adams usually is a reception whore. You know, if you wanted to just go safe and avoid Adams, I would not be opposed to it with Ayuk, Kirk, or Thielen. But I'm picking 3. I'm going with how I have them ranked. I'm not changing Kirk over Ayuk for target share, especially given the fact that Debo's out and everything. Ayuk you would expect to see more targets. So, yeah. Gonna go that route. I just moved Christian Kirk, Brandon Ayuk up ahead of Christian Kirk this morning with what's his name coming back? Brock Purdy being the quarterback again. So, you know, if you want to take that into factor, if you're thinking differently, I had Brock Purdy being the difference between Ayuk and Kirk. Yeah, Adams, Kirk, Thielen is my answer there, Bryce, but I don't think you can go wrong if you have a strong feeling one way or the other, and I would not hate sitting Adams, I guess. Probably not the smartest decision to do, though. Julian Castro, start JT or Barkley, thank you. I'm going with Barkley if JT had, if Zach Moss was out, I would have felt comfortable enough to put JT up, probably like right behind Eckler and ahead of Barkley. But with the threat of Zach Moss, once again, making it a 50-50 split, although it's probably going to be like at least 60-40, and there's a chance that it's like 70-30 or something like that. But for now, I'm just kind of going into it apprehensive with Zach Moss, but I left Jonathan Taylor untouched. So I would go Barkley there. If we get some news, let me refresh my news updates here real quick. If there is something talking about usage, that could change that. So I'll be right back just in case something pops up in the information here. Kelsey22, what's up, Kels? Thanks for coming on in. Kels, I assume it's Kelsey, but I just like Kels or Kelsey. Miles Sanders or Josh Downs, PPR. Christian Rodriguez says Downs likes that. Full PPR, you know, I'm not opposed to it. There's questions around Miles Sanders. They probably have a similar floor, if not even in favor of Josh Downs. I'm down for it. I'm not even going to look at things. Josh Downs, I'm on board with Christian Rodriguez there for you, Kelsey. I feel like last week I failed you. And if so, I apologize. And I'm very happy to see you back. Bryce, I hope that works out, whatever you end up choosing to do there. You got 4 good options. You can see how closely I had them ranked. Barkley, okay. Any updates, any news items here, any quotes from coaches? The Packers entered today averaging the first, seen that already, the fewest first half points, most second half points. It'll be a record if it remains that after the game today. Thank you, Anthony, for being around. Hope you enjoy that Bloody Mary. Make it extra spicy. Let's get it is right. By the way, Anthony Halverson and I are in the same fantasy league, and we are destroying the league. Just taking names, both of us, to our own rights. Been impressive for us. Feel like I'm going to have a similar issue that I've had in past seasons where my team started off better than they ended, but we'll see. I've tried making a couple of trades, hasn't come through. Yo, but the moment, I mean, that's the thing about like why zero RB can work and everything. Like the moment your running back depth got annihilated, options opened up. Like you had like that was perfect timing for I can't remember who it was for somebody to go down though for your running back depth, and you made a good choice with who you got too. Or you know you got lucky. I don't know how it ended up, what your waiver priorities were or anything, but it worked out. Looking for Chua, however, to get the start today for the Panthers at running back, even though Miles is back. But Sanders is motivated based on... This doesn't seem to be a news report. Nope, that's just a person talking about that. Ignore what I said. Despite not having... Doesn't look like we've got any news reports. Do we trust Calvin Ridley this week? Well, I don't know if you trust him, but there is a chance that he could go off in this game. It depends. You can see where I have him ranked. I have him pretty low, but, you know, there's only so low that you can go with Calvin Ridley. Like Anthony just said, you know the moment that you bench him, he will go off. And that's probably this week. He'll probably get the most that he's been benched yet. But it is a matchup that he could, and you know, preseason we would say would and should take advantage of. So, like if you were thinking about Calvin Ridley and Miles Sanders, I would go Calvin Ridley there, just for the upside. We got 3 minutes prior to kickoff. It looks like we got one more vote in. Oh my gosh, we are at a dead heat between Ghost, Vampire, Zombie, all at 33%. Whatever will we do? We need somebody to come in here, folks. We need new blood. I see Bears game status. Lucas Patrick is now questionable for tonight's game. That doesn't help. Their other center sucks at snapping the ball, and they got Tyler Bagent getting the ball from him. That could cause some issues. Looks like Trent Williams could still play for the Niners. I thought there was a report this morning that he was almost certainly out, so that'd be big. We got 2 minutes prior to kickoff. Let me refresh one more time. Some of these reports will just come out last-second tweets. Tua Tagovailoa, more passing yards, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young? I think you got to go with CJ Stroud on that one. That feels like an easy one. Okay, just now, Justin Herzig on Twitter, Jay Glazer's trade deadline update, Tannehill Cousins. Okay, this won't matter. Tannehill Cousins not being traded. One team still in talks for Henry. Denver shopping both Judy and Sutton and expect at least one to get dealt. Delvin Cook not generating interest in the market. No shit. All right, that's nothing for fantasy. I get maybe if you're speculating for trades or whatnot. We need somebody to vote. We need a vote. We can't. Oh no. I think I voted. I think I voted on this already. Did I? I did not. And my vote's a witch, so that just doesn't help. Real life, like a witch, could end the world with magic. Come on. Too many Newt's eyes, and it's a world-ending venture with a witch. They're basically a sorceress. My vote. I'll just do a tie-breaking vote for the heck, for purposes of breaking the tie, but I can't vote. I can vote. I can vote. Come on. Where's the vote? I think between those three, it's gonna go Vampire. We're gonna end it on that. So there it is. Officially, via the Forgers, the scariest traditional Halloween monster is a vampire, we would probably not exist as a race for much longer if vampires decided to kill all humans, if they existed. So, yeah. I think we'd have a much better chance against zombies, and ghosts are not really that scary. Maybe demons are, but ghosts are not. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming on through. Enjoy the games. I think that is it. I hope my advice works for you. I'm going to do one more refresh on here before actually ending the stream, just in case something were to pop up and you were to be able to react to it. But if you have the ability to, if you're on Reddit or whatnot, hop on the NFL Reddit. Never hurts to give it a check an hour prior to, even a half hour prior to kickoff for the second set of games if you have some decisions to make. Sometimes big information gets kind of leaked right a short time before kickoff. I am looking for my end stream. All right, peace out, everybody. And good luck this week. Forgers unite.